Hi, Jewish Mom. So I want to talk with you about a parenting class that I've mentioned to you before. I'm taking a class with a teacher named Chagit Barasher on the Sheffer method. And the Sheffer method, I actually have some mixed feelings about it. I don't think I've gotten a lot of the class. I wouldn't recommend this approach for every mother. But there's one thing in the class. There's a bunch of things in the class that have really been I found very, very helpful. Specifically, there's one thing that they teach about dealing with misbehavior in children, and it's remarkably effective. And so I wanted to share that with you. So basically, the Sheffer method, what they teach is that so basically, like two children can do the same thing, and in one child it will bother you, and another child it will not bother you. Let's say that there's a child who every morning forgets to put on a sweater, like comes down just wearing a shirt without a sweater, even in the winter. And that child, for some reason, it doesn't bother you, and then that child's sibling will forget always to put on a sweater, and it will bother you. Maybe in one child, it's like that child's young, or that child's kind of disorganized, or that child's a little bit scatterbrained. So it seems like it's not misbehavior. It's just like that, like the child. There's some reason why the child keeps on forgetting their sweater. Another child, it bothers you, which in Sheffer approach, like this is a reason. This is what you call misbehavior. The sign of it being a misbehavior is that it bothers you. So there are two kinds of misbehaviors in the Sheffer method. One is called that there are children who are attention children, Yeled Sumat Lev, attention children. So these are children. This is kind of the more low grade kind of misbehavior. And you feel it in yourself. The mother feels it, that it bothers you, but it doesn't drive you crazy. There's another level of misbehavior, which is called power struggle child. And that's the kind of child that the misbehavior eats you up. It drives you crazy. You think, I will never, ever be able to deal with this child and help this child overcome his or her problems. So I'm going to start out with an example. Basically, so when I started the Sheffer course, I had 3 children with 3 problems that were really, really making my life difficult. And those 3 problems of those 3 children, within several weeks, I've been taking the course maybe for 4 months now, and let's say like 2 months in, the problems were gone. So let me tell you, I'll start out first with my child, who was the more lower grade, who was my attention, my Yeled Sumat Lev, my attention child problem. So this is the kind of misbehavior I said that it bothers you, gets on your nerves, but doesn't eat you up. It doesn't, like, you're not like working, you're not thinking about a lot and feeling like it's an impossible, like, kind of working on your mind, and it's kind of a lower grade kind of bothering you. Okay, so I have my daughter Sophia, who's 6 years old. She's in 1st grade. And what she was doing was she would be 3/4 of a mature, well-behaved, wonderful kind of girl, and 1/4 really whiny and naggy and crying for no reason, and just kind of like a really unpleasant kind of kid 1/4 of the time. So in the Sheffer method, what they suggest is, in the situation where a child is an attention child, so what you do is you just ignore the misbehavior. And so what I did with Sophia is, anytime she would start whining and kind of nagging, and she'd become kind of clingy to me and bothering me in various ways, I would just completely ignore her. And I wouldn't get, like, what I would usually do is kind of get irritated or get angry with her, or what I did, I just stopped it. What I would do, like, she would be acting like whiny and kind of like very irritating, and I would actually start singing, or I would turn on the radio, or I would just do something so that I just wasn't paying attention to her whining. I guess like the approach is that, you know, she is seeking connection. Children are always seeking connection with their mothers, and so she, on a subconscious level, she is trying to get that attention through this kind of misbehavior. So what it is, this approach with the attention child is you just stop, you just ignore it. It's a lo kayam. It's like the misbehavior does not exist, and it actually works. Like now, this daughter, she, for example, like on Shabbat morning at the beginning of the meal. Actually, I think every Shabbat meal, when we'd have to make Kiddush in the night or in the morning, she would end up getting sent up to her room every Shabbat meal. It was like she would start crying and whining and nagging and clinging and starting fights. And now, if you saw this girl, there's just nothing. It just doesn't happen. It's completely stopped. She just learned that the way to connect with her mother is through being a pleasant person, is through being a good girl, and it actually happened. Like, she's just become a really cooperative, wonderful girl to have around. It was through that, like, it really worked, by just completely ignoring the misbehavior and not letting it get to me, just completely just singing a song or doing it. Just okay. So moving on. So I had two other children who were doing something, who are children who, what you call Yildei Mavak Koach, power struggle children. So what is that? Those are children who trigger something in you which really eats you up. That they are consciously, that they are seeking connection with the mother through a misbehavior, and in that way trying to connect. It's what they call in the Sheffer method a mistaken connection, that they are trying to. So these children, my 4-year-old Yaakov, my 2-year-old Yonatan, they were doing a lot of misbehaviors, just like doing destructive things, or Yaakov like pouring shampoo on my pillow, or Yonatan going into the cabinets and taking everything out and breaking bottles, and just doing things that just being really, really out of control. And my feeling with these kids was that there's nothing I can do. These kids are out of control. I cannot educate them. There's no way there's just nothing I can do. And it really ate me up, because I just thought, like, these kids are out of control. There's nothing I can do to educate them. They're just out of control. So, but then I decided, you know, after taking the Sheffer method for like a few weeks, what you do with a child like that, a child whose problem really eats you up, is you think, okay, what is the root issue? What is the root issue which is bothering me? So it might be, let's say for one child, let's say the child hits, and the thought that's eating her up is, my child is going to be a bully, or my child hurts people, or my child will never succeed. Okay, so my thought was, I'm going to talk about one of them. I'm going to talk about Yonatan, about my 2-year-old. My thought was, I cannot control him. He's out of control. I cannot control him. So what I did, the approach with that kind of child, with the power struggle child, is to just neutralize that thought. To neutralize the thought, like to get rid of the thought, my child's a bully, my child will never succeed, my child is violent, my child is a loser. And my thought was, my child, I cannot control my child. Okay, my child cannot be educated. So basically, it was just to get, my job in the Sheffer method was to get rid of that thought. Okay, so I replaced it with a thought, I can educate this child. So what I did is, you know, over the course of several days, if Yonatan would do something, like let's say he turned over the garbage can, okay, I would give him a little patch on his hand, okay, and then the next time, okay, let's say he would take a bottle out of the a bottle of wine out of the fridge, shatter on the ground, patch in your hand. And I did this, and what was remarkable is that I did this, I had to give him, like maybe the first day I had to give him maybe 4 patches on his hand, the next day maybe 3. I gave maybe, this is something that happened maybe 3 months ago. I like as a total, I gave him maybe 10 patches on his hand, and it completely got rid of it. It completely got rid, also in him, and also in his older brother Jakob, who was doing similar misbehaviors. It just completely got rid of it. And so I hope that that mothers out there who are struggling with children of various ages will be able to. It's quite a it's something, it's a 20-week course, so it is like there are like different nuances of what I'm saying and different like the theory behind it and stuff. But in conclusion, if you are having a child who's doing certain behaviors that bother you, in Sheffer method, there's two basic groups. One is called attention children, and one is called power struggle children. So attention children are children that's like a lower grade kind of misbehavior, that it brings up a kind of lower grade upset and bother in you. Okay, so with those children, the approach is to just completely ignore the misbehavior. It doesn't exist. Just, it doesn't bother you. It doesn't make you angry. You are just going on as though the misbehavior didn't happen. Going up to the next level, a more kind of serious kind of misbehavior is the children who are power struggle children, and this kind of misbehavior, it eats you up. You're thinking about it. You feel like there's nothing you can do. You're upset about it in a whole different level. And those children, the power struggle children, what you're supposed to do is to neutralize the feeling, neutralize the negative feeling that's driving, the negative thought that's driving you crazy, the negative thought like, oh, my child's a bully, my child will never learn, my child is going to flunk out of school and be living on the street, God forbid. And my negative thought, which was, I cannot control my child. This child is out of control. So I had to neutralize that thought and said, I am the mother and I'm the child, and I can educate this child. I actually can, and it worked. So I want to bless all of you. I hope I try it and see how it works for you. And batzlacha and chodesh tov, Rosh Chodesh Adar, chodesh tov, kol tov.